Peggy 16.
Sega.
For a PC game, Total War's always had fairly weak multiplayer. It's only ever been the battle part of the game.
It's been a recycled part of the game
until Napoleon, and we really never really made it a central focus. And this time we have.
It's the first time it's actually the fourth part of the game. You know,
yeah,
it's like a whole new.
Sorry, it's actually amazing fun as well.
It has a longevity to it as well, which is not something we've had before. It's not just game modes multiplayed.
The whole character development, the whole progression through the
Well, you do get to crush your enemies and see them before you, don't you? That's the whole thing.
Exactly, and you get to see your own glory increase as a result.
And if you're on the network, you get to chortle at people later.
True.
It is something that we're not sure about, it's a totally brand new thing. And how...
I love how we always take a punt.
Well,
it's just like we always just go, it's got to be good, right?
But you have to take a punt. The first thing for us is we all know that the battles are fun, but they're 10 times more fun if there's context.
Yes.
So we have to give context.
You have to give the player some reason to care about the precise details of the result, not just whether he wins or loses.
The outcome, yeah.
So it's how many men you lose and how.
So not just pride.
Yeah.
So you need investment in those
and some kind of long-term thing wrapped around those individual battles.
Yeah.
There's something very upsetting about seeing elite unit completely annihilated by a surprise attack.
Unless it's there.
Unless it's there, at which point it's a bit like scalping someone and being like,
There's a difference between picking a random elite unit from a list that you'll have in a second battle against an elite unit you've earned.
You've looked after them.
And that you've looked after.
You've nurtured them. You've watched their skill points.
And if you lose them forever.
It's like anything else. If you give them something for free, don't value it as much as something you've earned.
Exactly.
So there's that kind of, over the course of time playing multiplayer, you get things and you work for them.
Yeah, and you progress.
Worked in the sense of, it's a very loose sense of the word work, but you put the time in and you've achieved it and you feel, yeah, that's cool, I've got X, I've got Y, I've now got a big choppy sword, that's really good.
Talk about art.
Art's good.
Okay,
Let's talk about art, baby.
Yeah.
Let's talk about cherry blossoms.
So with art, I mean,
leaves.
the whole way we started it was, long before we started the whole project, it was to take one of the artists and get him training how to do Japanese brush art.
Yeah. Woodblock.
Woodblock, sorry, not brush. So
that's Roland McDonald.
How long did it take?
It took about 6 months.
It's good stuff, though. I mean,
it is.
People have asked whether it's from museums, haven't they?
Yeah, we've actually had genuine inquiries from magazines and people asking if they're allowed to print it, and they can get the museum can give them the rights, or the family that owns the art can give them the rights. And it's like, no, really, it's ours.
And throughout the entire project, we're kind of taking this, the art department is taking quite a serious stance towards art, where we've got all of the departments are really producing by far the best work that they've produced for any Total War game. I think for future projects we'll keep on top of the art and art direction, because it's really quite a big selling point. We're loving doing it.
It's the style of that period, I think. I really liked the sort of atmosphere and style of Shogun 1, and we'd not really got anything like that in any of the intervening games, and it was a chance to do art again.
He's really doing Total War games on film before we've ever even heard of Total War, or some of us were born.
If you haven't watched Seven Samurai, you haven't been paying attention.
He's got thousands of guys. He's portraying different emotions.
It's all that sort of Bran, isn't it, with the battle that's entirely silent until there's one gunshot and then the sound cuts in. It's this enormous battle that goes on forever with a castle on fire. And,
there's books as well as the Musashi books.
That's definitely the stuff that influences me the most. I actually read the Hagakure about 15 years ago, something like that, and the same thing goes for Musashi's Book of the Five Rings, and that stuff is and Sun Tzu, of course.
The Musashi books. I mean, I'm talking about the novels.
You mean the novels about?
Novels are based on the character that wrote the Book of the Five Rings. There's a whole series. There's dozens and dozens of these novels which are completely known to everybody in Japan. So they're Robin Hood, effectively, as Musashi.
Jack's got someone on his desk.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's this. I can't remember the name
Jack is
of the
officially
website.
the holder of the most geeky thing I've ever seen done at CA. Right now, this is seriously
geeky?
right. Okay, this is super geeky. Okay, we're a company full of guys who like board games and make games about historical warfare. Okay, so this really has to take a title. And Jack, I actually once saw him creating a unit on screen. This was actually for Napoleon. He was creating a unit on screen for Napoleon, and he said something like, "17th Hussars didn't have brass buttons on the top point of their uniforms. Expelliarmus!" And then deleted it. And I was like, I literally had to stop and tell him that was the most awesome piece of geek I've ever seen in my life.
This is where Japaneseness in some way helps us out from a gameplay point of view.
Craziness.
Because when you put all kinds of banners in the like we're saying before, you've got all the different Japanese banners. They're very
UI focused.
UI focused.
Yeah.
But their castles as well. They actually almost deliberately put good gameplay into their castles.
It's almost like they enjoyed the battle.
They did.
It was a sense of this will be a great fighting location.
The whole idea of a Japanese castle is different to a European one. European castles are all about keep them out. Japanese ones are all about come on in if you're hard enough.
Have a go.
Yeah. Number one, I think new players and hooking them and actually holding on to them.
Yeah.
I think is going to be the multiplayer stuff, right? So I think absolutely the longevity of having a persistent character, which creates effects and uses the more you use it is going to be.
I think the other thing that's going to hook them is the fact that there's this kind of game legend that Shogun was really good, and therefore Shogun 2 is coming out. And it'll in exactly the same ways as kind of like Dune 2.
Yep.
And building on where we were with Napoleon. I mean, Napoleon was a
Napoleon brought a lot of new players in.
I'm sure this one's going to be much easier to get into than the others as well.
Yeah.
Purely because it starts off so small. You're starting off with one region.
You don't have to learn hundreds of new units, that's for sure.
It's
focused.
Easier to get into.
Yeah, I think the campaign size, the campaign makeup, and even just the theme is fairly accessible.
back to rock, paper, scissors a little bit more as well.
Yeah,
Which is-
there's a
which is
clearer
good.
relationship between things, which
The nice thing is, though, that doesn't then stop the unit development stuff going on, so that you can nurture a unit through that.
Oh, we've allowed more
Get it to the top.
customisation.
Yeah, there'll be more customisation of units as well.
That's true. To appeal to new people is to make it more yours. And if you're making it more yours, then it's much less a case of approaching something created by someone else that you need to learn and adapt to. And as a result of starting with an Acorn, you create your characters, you grow them, it's your experience and your story.
Artwork, music, and feel.
I mean,
hit them straight on.
Art.
I mean, even with the
Cherry blossom, falling cherry blossom.
even with the initial
Attention to detail.
with the initial teaser trailers, people were getting this is a game. I mean, we had to put this is in-game footage on one of the videos just because people wouldn't believe that it was a game that looked so good. So I mean, the initial,
So it's going to be the wallop factor when you.
Visuals are the wallop. I think the spectacle of battle is going to be a big wallop.
And then I think gradually you realise just how much is in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
The different areas of the game will one by
And you
one.
suddenly
suck
realise,
you in.
I haven't seen this bit before. What's all this
and
about?
I'll just constantly
Wow, give that-
surprise.
When you realise you've clocked up 200 hours,
Yeah.
Yeah.
2,000 in some people's cases.
or 2,000.
And there's still surprises in that. That's what it is. That's
That'd be
the war,
good.
I think.
If we can waste 2,000 hours of somebody's life, that's brilliant.
It's a win, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we've
Jeff in Australia has hired Taikos
Yep.
to do the drumming, the taiko drumming.
Yep.
Awesome, massive
Which is
taiko
amazing.
drums.
Yeah.
And Jeff himself is back.
Yes.
After a
After-
little sabbatical.
yes.
Musical genius.
Yeah.
Musical genius that is Jeff.
BAFTA award winning.
Who won
BAFTA award-winning Jeff Van Dyke.
Who won a
Shogun.
BAFTA for Shogun 1
Shogun 1, exactly, yeah.
for the music.
Think about it as taiko drums. It is just the
It's an authentic noise.
It's
Well,
actually,
it's not that.
Are there any units in the game that carries drums into battle?
Yes.
Yeah, we've got
the drums and the noise is really important because it's very evocative and it actually sets the scene.
Yeah, they call it the heartbeat of Japan, is the taiko drumming. So it's sort of essential for our game, really.
And we're doing the same with the rest of the music, making sure that we get as much authentic Japanese instrumentation in there as we can. So Jeff's busy trying to replace what he'd normally do with violins with shamisen and kotos.
Yeah.
But it's you've got to be authentic, but also you need to have like a modern twist so it feels contemporary and in place.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, not always, but it's.
because we obviously can't hand animate thousands of animations, but
Yeah, so the mocap guys, we've got the British Kendo Association.
Yeah.
The strikes for Japanese samurai, the actual physical sword strikes, are based on the composition of their armor. So
Where you hit to kill.
yeah, so you've got a kind of grid of sword strikes. So going from neck through to here, so you're missing the body armor, you're missing the head armor, you're missing the shoulder armor. So neck through to here, neck through to here. The reverse strikes, strike straight through the helmet. That. And,
That's just
yeah, and also a strike straight through the throat.
So you need to demonstrate again.
Sorry, if you like.
We could actually.
No, it's good, yeah. One of the biggest and most obvious things we've had external help on is the calligraphy for the logo.
That's right.
The actual the logo is written by a professional calligrapher in Japan,
guy,
and he's he's absolutely fantastic.
That is something we, under no circumstances could we.
Because I remember I asked you if you could do it. Do you remember we had the fabric in the meeting room, and I said to you, "Can you guys take a brush and paint the fabric?" And you said, "Absolutely no way."
we tried to do that for Shogun 1.
Yeah, and it just doesn't
Nick
work.
tried to do that for Shogun 1, couldn't he?
Calligraphy is kind of the high art of the East, and really, it would be impossible for us to do.
The strongest aspect of Shogun 2 for me is actually everybody else on the team. It really is. It really is. It's a great team. It really is a great team. I've worked with some lunatics in the past.
I am really enjoying the multiplayer. Enough said.
I like the fact it's a return to our roots, as it were. It's a good thing. I think we should go back every once in a while and have a look at things again and see what we can do. That's new.
Siege battles, awesome.
Oh, so difficult. Everything. Yeah, just everything.
Everything.
Everything. I mean the AI. I mean the visuals, the artwork, the multiplayer, everything. Can't really put it down to one single thing.
The thing I'm most excited about is the RPG system and the kind of personality you can give the characters. That's definitely my buzz for this one.
For me, it's got to be art style. I think it's just fantastic.